Hello everyone, James here from Akamai Technologies. I'm here at ChannelCon in Las Vegas and I'm talking to lots of industry veterans, MSPs, and seeing what I can find for you in the way of useful insights. And if I'm ever going to get any useful insights, there's this one man, Mark Copeman. Let me introduce you.
Mark. I'm not a veteran, I'm not that old.
I think you've been, okay, fine.
Been around.
That's not for me to know or to dive into. Can you give us a quick introduction as to your background and how you got to the point where you're here talking today?
Yeah, sure. So I guess it all started 2010 when I founded a business called Customer Thermometer. We weren't intending this to happen, but we really got into the MSP space very, very quickly. And I kind of fell in love with the channel from about 2011 onwards, really. And then from there, when I exited that business in 2018, I created the Help Desk Habits program, which I'm still absolutely thrilled about, and people sign up every day and it's wonderful. But more recently, I've landed at Wingman, partnered with the brilliant Dave Sutton, who founded that business about 6 years ago. And now the two of us are partners in crime. He finally has an actual wingman.
Yeah, that's great to see. And I feel like you were definitely the missing link there. I think you complement each other really well. And the reason that is because one of the things that you're doing a lot of is website reviews for MSPs, right? So I think we know we've both seen many MSP websites.
Yeah.
And you've become something of a pro at critiquing them and doing that on the fly. And I think you've done that with the Tech Tribe as well. So yep. I'm really curious. It's an area that interests me. That we could probably go on about it endlessly in terms of the tips. Can we break down what are the key things if you're an MSP and you want to take a look at your site and look at what you can improve?
Yep.
Where should we start?
Yeah, well, let's maybe take like my top three. Let's give that a go. So I've just come off stage and I've just gone through 5 things, and lots of people taking lots of notes, which is what I was asking them to do. And taking action as well. Super important to do that. No point in talking about this stuff if you don't go away and actually make it happen.
Yes.
So I've reviewed about 400 sites over the last couple of years, so I see a lot of stuff. Here's my first one, James. Get your above the fold right, okay? You know what the above the fold is?
Literally the first bit you see.
Literally on your homepage, the first thing you see when you land. It's the equivalent at an event like this, a networking event. If you go over and shake hands with somebody and they bang on about themselves, they don't ask any questions, and they're just a bit dull, what do? You make your excuses and you head to the bathroom or the bar. It's the same online, but it's even more brutal. You know, the back button is just a few pixels away, so you have to capture people's attention.
In what time frame? In what time frame have you got these days?
I've got 7 seconds. I mean, who knows? I mean, we're all consumers. We all react to things in different ways. But so getting that above the fold right, and very quickly on that. A statement about what you actually do, where you do it, your geographic location.
So plain English rather than hiding it behind.
Absolutely, let's make it super clear. Let's have some evidence about perhaps the number of clients that you work with and on an ongoing basis. So, we're currently helping 50 businesses across the New Orleans area to sleep better at night. Those sorts of words. Let's get a very punchy customer quote up there. As soon as we possibly can. So, working with James at Akamai is the best thing ever. And then a little name and business beyond that. Perhaps a little 5-star icon, that sort of thing.
Excellent. So it's like instant credibility within
exactly.
Within a second.
Other people saying great things about you is so much better than you claiming great things about you.
And why do you think people don't do that? Because there's a lot of sites that don't have that on there necessarily. Do you think it's because it takes some effort to do that, to get quotes from customers? Or?
I don't know. I think sometimes people forget the importance of social proof, and they're perhaps more inclined to say, talk about what they do, as I say, rather than allowing other people to say the good stuff about them. And it's just so much more powerful. So even a little strip of logos, that sort of thing. And the other thing I'd also recommend, perhaps I'll move on to the second thing now, but it's sort of linked with that, is that call to action button. So I would always like to see that top right of the website. And also, when you scroll down, that header remains persistent, okay? So if you imagine that, you scroll, but header's always there. Really good practice to do that, because what it means is people can always then move around as they see fit. But that call to action button is always there. So what do we mean by call to action? A contact us button or form is not a call to action.
Right, yeah.
People want to be guided here. So typically we want to see something along the lines of, that free consultation, that free review, that we're going to come and meet you, we're going to spend a couple of hours with you, that sort of thing. Because I know from talking to hundreds of MSPs that when you get in front of somebody, things start to happen. So the more you can play on that, the better. That, for me, should be the focus of that call to action.
So of all the, you've seen a lot of calls to action. In terms of the page that goes to then, so you don't want it to just be a kind of a turn into a contact us form.
No.
Is there any, what should you put on there ideally? Do you think, is video got a role here, would you say? In terms of like, hey, I'm the company owner.
That's a really good point. Quite possibly. Seen that working because the more personality you can get across, the better. So great point. When you click that button to book that consultation, don't just pop up a Calendly, don't just pop up a contact form. You still have to be selling the concept. Until you have grabbed those contact details, that person is still a mystery to you. So I would absolutely have a little quote at the top of the page saying, I spent 2 hours with James, he's changed my business, and so immediately the person then is like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Then lay out what you're going to get for a couple of hours.
Okay.
And then have that Calendly in bed or whatever it may be to actually grab those contact details and make it happen.
That's really good advice. So third point.
Where should we go with the third one? Why don't we talk about social proof? I've touched on it, passionate about that. And let me talk specifically about Google reviews, because I think that's probably the best place to go. Mm-hmm. We all surreptitiously, when we Google stuff, we look on that right-hand panel, the Google Business Profile panel. We look at the number of reviews. If someone is showing 10 reviews, 3.2 stars, I tell you what, would you even bother clicking on the link to go to that site? You'd question it.
Yeah.
So having a decent number of reviews, 20, 25 reviews, 4+, is super, super important. That takes work. So that's the first reason for having it. But actually the second reason, SEO. I've seen with my own eyes that if you've got a decent number of reviews, all other things being equal, you're going to be propelled up those rankings. So work on those Google reviews. Personal requests, don't go mass mail out. That doesn't work. Personal requests. And have it part of your business as usual in terms of requesting them as when comments come in.
Ah, really? Oh, so you actually wait, you suggest just waiting when someone says, oh, thanks so much for fixing that support request quickly or something like that. That's the point.
Exactly that.
Right.
And it's PSAs, help desk systems, ticketing systems are a gold mine of marketing information. So you're absolutely right. You had a little thread with somebody. The client has said, wow, James, you're awesome. Thank you so much for helping me. I love your company. And typically a technician or engineer will just go, oh, really cool, and then close the ticket. So it's lost forever.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is have a little process in place where we can, a technician recognizes that is marketing gold, grabs it out, sends it to someone in the business, and then you ask for permission to use it and ask them to leave it as a Google review.
I guess it's almost like it's a training thing, isn't it? To really embed that message into the whole. It seems that everyone who's customer facing knows that's something you should be doing.
Totally. There we go. 3 things.
Love it. Brilliant. So what's next on the horizon for you, Mark? You want any particular projects, or in fact, if someone's interested, that was only 3 of your 5, and there are many other pieces of advice you can give. Is there a sort of a bite-sized way of getting involved with?
Yeah, I think there is. Well, for me next, it's traveling home and sleeping for about 3 days.
Amen.
And then beyond that. If you do go to wingmanmspmarketing.com, we practice what we preach, and we actually show a lot of MSPs how we've created our little funnel. Click on the top right button and request a free website review. And then it may take me a couple of weeks to get back to you, but I'll give you a 7, 8, 9, 10 minute quick video review of your site, and then you can take action on it, or we can carry on a discussion depending on what happens.
Wonderful, brilliant. I knew it was going to be insightful. Thank you. I think that's some nice actionable advice for the audience. I really appreciate you joining me. And
thanks for having me, James.
You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. Get some sleep.